The hot streak continues. We're hitting 66% of our bets, and we're also hitting 70% on college basketball. Back-to-back 2-1 days. Don't miss out. I've got 3 more for you. Don't be that one guy at the bar this weekend that's sitting there that, 1, doesn't have action on any of the games, but 2, has really bad picks. I'm here to help you out. You always want to have the right choices on the best games that are happening this weekend. We're going to get to that. We've got some awesome college basketball, an amazing NBA game between the Celtics and the Lakers. But let's look at the scoreboard, how we've been doing and how we did on our last 6 picks. On Wednesday night, BYU versus Iowa State. Iowa State was not ready for BYU. They covered 8.5. Auburn versus Texas A&M fell completely asleep. I was shocked by how poorly they played. I've bet against Texas A&M a ton to great success, but suddenly they turned it on. Auburn did not cover the -5.5. And then the Warriors were able to prevail +4 versus the Knicks on the road. Thursday had an awesome showing. Lakers -2.5 versus the Knicks. They played really poorly up until the very end. That was a really nice one to see come all the way through, and that the Lakers were able to finish that. I think that the Lakers, and this is a little bit of a spoiler here, I'm going to keep betting on the Lakers because Luka Doncic and LeBron James are a covering machine, and overall they are a covering machine this season. The Celtics -13 versus the 76ers. I said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. The 76ers do not care. If you're looking for a dead body to bet against this year, it is the 76ers until the season ends. They're not trying. They shut everybody down. As long as the spread's under 20 points, I'm betting on them to get smoked. And then lastly, this one was so frustrating. We almost went 3-0 on our bets. Michigan State's down. They're playing like ass. I'm watching this while doing some other work, and I'm thinking, oh, this is done. This game's done. This bet's not going to hit. This stinks. At least the Celtics look like they're going to cover. And they storm back, and they're killing Iowa on the road. And I looked down for 10 minutes as this game was coming to a conclusion. They completely sold. They had covered the 7.5, and they completely sold. So that one didn't hit. That was annoying. And I hate being the guy who complains about bets not hitting. But God, we almost went 3-0 again, and that would have been so great. 3 games, though, that we're talking about today. We've got a lot of great hoops going on. Alabama at Auburn, Duke UNC, and Lakers at Celtics. Let's start off with Alabama at Auburn. Auburn is favored by 8.5 points. I am taking Auburn to cover at home. I made the mistake of betting on Alabama the first time that they played. Auburn is clearly the better team. And I know that they didn't have a great showing the other night against Texas A&M, but they will get up for this game. Just like we saw the fact that they celebrated against Tennessee when Alabama played Tennessee and lost the other night. I know that that had implications for them winning the conference, but they clearly don't like Alabama. So at home, also knowing this, 12-7, Auburn is 12-7 when favored by more than 8.5 points. They are a covering machine. Worth noting that Alabama, best rebounding team in the country. Auburn is 43rd. That's the one area of disparity that concerns me a little bit. But I love the 3-point shooting separation. Auburn is 33rd at 3-point shooting. Alabama is 105th. Like we saw the first time that they played, Auburn's 3-point shooting, their pace, all of that is too much for Alabama to keep up. So I think that they cover that 8.5-point spread, despite it being so big. Also, by the way, we also say this every single time that we do these picks, that you always want to lean in the direction in the SEC by picking a home team. A lot of the picks that I have given out is betting on the home team. More importantly, a lot of the picks that haven't succeeded are when I've picked a road team to cover in a situation just like the Auburn-Texas A&M game where I thought that that wasn't going to mean anything. Always lean in the direction of the program that is home in the SEC. Moving to the ACC, Duke at UNC. Duke is favored by only 10.5 on the road going to Chapel Hill. I feel extremely confident about taking Duke here. Duke is 18-8 against the spread after a win. UNC is only 10-9 coming off of a win. Both these teams are on long stretches of winning games, but we know that Duke's the better team clearly. Duke is 8-2 against the spread on the road. UNC is 7-7, just 7-7 at home against the spread. And then the disparity goes even further. Duke's 20th in rebounding, total rebounds per game. UNC is 79th. Duke is 15th in three-point shooting. UNC is 92nd. Duke is 3rd in shooting efficiency, while UNC is just 31st. 10 points is so doable. It is so doable for them to smoke UNC. Now, I'm hoping that the rivalry craziness doesn't catch me off guard, but I believe that Duke is going to be able to win this one pretty handedly. And then lastly, we're finally starting to get some good NBA games, especially after the Lakers-Knicks game that we had on Thursday. Lakers at Celtics. Celtics favored by 6.5. Going cross-country, one would think, I'm going to go with the Celtics. 6.5 is doable. I've mentioned this before. The Celtics are not a good covering team. That is enough of a pocket for me to think that the Lakers can keep this thing close and lose by just a couple of points. That if this gets down to final possessions and they have to start fouling, that they'd be in a position to at least keep it within range. Lakers, 23-15-1 against the spread after a win. Celtics are only 13-30-1. Celtics are 14-18 against the spread at home. Lakers are 14-14-1 on the road. Feel pretty good about this one. I think that the Lakers and the way that they have been playing through this stretch right now and the consistency and the efficiency that they've had is going to be enough to help them, again, keep this close. 6.5 is a perfect wide margin for us to get them to cover. Folks, let us know in the comments who else you betting on. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll talk to you on Monday.